In this video, I'm going to teach you what a box and whisker plot is and how to make one. Alright, what it is just a way to display univariate data divided into fourths. Remember, univariate data means one variable data, and the key is we're going to be dividing that data into four sections. So this is what I mean when I talk about a box and whisker. Your data will be displayed, illustrated using a box. It's going to sound weird, but we're going to have whiskers coming outside of each end of that box. Now, when I make reference to the fourths, this is what I mean. Your box will be split in half, meaning some data in each part of the box, and then the whiskers represent portions of data as well. I'll use a different color pen. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This box and two whiskers would represent all of the data divided into fourths. 1/4 of the data would be in this section right in here. 1/4 of the data would be in that section. 1/4 in this section, and another fourth in this section. Okay, so that represents 4/4, right? All of your data. When you split up your data, you do it in this way. You need 5 key pieces of information. You need your lowest or your smallest number, your minimum number at the far left end, and at the far right end, you're going to need whatever the highest value is. Right here in the middle goes your median. That's by definition what the median is. It's the middle number. And then this number here is your quartile 1 number, and this number right here is your quartile 3 number. I'll talk a little bit more about the quartile numbers in just a minute, but keep in mind that the word quartile, I'll write it down, quartile references how you're breaking up your data into fourths. Okay, so the first quartile would be this section of numbers right here. All right? Let me give you an example and then we'll go from there. So if I have some data, this data represents the speed of cars going through an intersection. I'm not quite sure how many pieces of data I have right here. I should count it up. Not a big deal right now. I can count it up in a few minutes, but since I just mentioned it, I might as well count it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I've got 16 cars that passed through an intersection, and all of their speeds were recorded. Now, what we're going to do with this data to create a box and whisker, you have to put the data in order. Now, I'm going to do it by hand first so I can show you kind of a little bit more about what I mean by breaking up your data into fourths, but then I'll show you a faster way on the calculator. So let's scan these numbers and look for the smallest number in the group, and I'll start with that number first. It's looking like 21 is going to be my smallest number. It is. So I'm going to write a 21 first. 21. Then the next, I'll cross them out as I go. I sure wish I had somebody over my shoulder to help me do this, because it's always easier when you have someone backing you up. A 22 would be my next number. 23 appears to be the next number after that. 23. Anything? Scanning. 24 is next. They absolutely have to be in order or we can't do what I'm about to do. 24. 25, and then a 26 looks like. 25, 26, 25, 26, 27, and then a 28. Are there any other 27s? No. 28, 29, there's a 29 right there. Any 30s? No. 37, 36, there's 2 36s right now. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking mode. I know that's not our goal right now. Measures of central tendency are not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about box and whisker, but couldn't help myself. 2 36s, a 37, a 38, a 40, a 43, and a 54. I'm going to count those up and make sure I've got 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I do. I have 16 cars. All right, now, here I'm going to just mentally and show you how I'm going to break up my data into fourths. So if I've got 16 cars, wouldn't it make sense that half of 16 is 8? So I'll count over 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right here marks my median, the middle of my data. I've got 8 cars over here and 8 cars over here. So I've just really split up my data into halves. But if I split up each half into halves again, then I'll have taken the entire set of data and broken it into fourths. So watch what I'm going to do now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Half of 8 is 4. So that means this right here marks the middle of this half. 1, 2, 3, 4. This marks the middle of this half. So you see how I've just broken up my data into fourths? 1/4 there, 1/4 here, 1/4 there, and 1/4 here. This is what's going to, this is what I'm going to do to show my box and whisker. All right, now, a couple of minutes ago, I also said you needed 5 key numbers. Those key numbers, my lowest number, my highest number, my median, and then the 2 quartile numbers. So how do I get those? Well, the lowest number, easy peasy. I'll call that my minimum. You'll see that in my calculator in just a minute. My highest number is my maximum. My median, now, whoops, you might be thinking, how are you going to get a median if I just put a little squiggle in between 28 and 29? Well, what I want you to think is, what is the middle number in between 28 and 29? Hopefully you did that in your head. That's a 28.5, right? And then we'll do the same thing for these little squiggles. This squiggle number represents my quartile 1 number. And what value is right in between a 24 and a 25? 24.5. And then this squiggle here is going to represent my quartile 3 number, and what's in between a 37 and a 38 is a 37.5. Now, it's not always going to be decimals. Sometimes that squiggle might land right on a number. If you had an odd number of data points, then I'm going to have a number be the median. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I don't want to get too distracted by this, but let me point this out. If that 54 weren't there, just want you to see something. See how I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of data? If I were going to try to find the middle of these 7, then I would take out 1, 2, 3 numbers on either side, and my middle would be the 37. Okay, but I've got an even number of data points. Now I'm going to take these 5 key values and I'm going to create my box and whisker. Here we go. To create your box and whisker, you're going to need to draw it on a number line, and you're going to have your numbers evenly spaced from beginning to end. Beginning meaning you're low, end meaning you're high. So I'm going to draw a number line. Now, I did this a little while ago, and I don't think I have enough boxes to represent 1 box per unit, so I'm going to go by 2s. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If my lowest number is a 21, I'm going to start with a 20. And then I'm going to count by 2s. 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. This will be a 30. 32, 34, 36, 38. This will be 40. 42, 44, 46, 48. This will be 50. 52, 54, 56, 58. This will be 60. That should cover this data. Now, some people like to draw their box and whisker right on the number line. Other people like to do it above the number line. I think doing it above the number line will help you see it better. So here we go. I'm going to plot each one of these key numbers on or above this number line. I'm going to start with the number 21. Here's 20. So 21 will be right here. This will be 21. I'll put a little dot right there. That represents my minimum number, my low. The next dot will be quartile 1, 24.5. 21, 22, fiddlesticks. I went by 2s. You probably already caught that. So that means let's take that number off. I'm going to change colors so I don't screw us up. 21 is in between 20 and 22. So this is a 21. Sorry about that. All right, 24.5. 20, 22, 24. This is 26. So in the middle is 25. 24.5 is going to be right there. My next number, 28.5. 20, this is 28. Right in the middle of those two is a 29. So 28.5 is going to be approximately right there. 28.5. My next number is a 37.5. 30, 32, 34, 36. This is going to be 38. So 37 is right in the middle. And then 37.5, a little to the right of that. 37.5. And then my maximum number is 54. Remember, I was counting by twos. 50, 52, 54. Here we go. Now, don't be alarmed that your dots are not all evenly placed like in my original picture. This was just a demo just to explain to you what I meant by a box and whisker dividing your data into fourths. So when I go draw my box and whisker now, your box goes around. Let's do it in a different color. Your box goes around the quartile 1 number all the way out to the quartile 3 number. That line that was in the middle goes through the median. Now look, that doesn't look like it's in the middle. I'll talk about that just a minute. And then each one of your whiskers goes out to the lowest number and the highest number. Now, I have just officially created a box and whisker plot. I'm really done with my display. I'm just displaying this data in what we call a box and whisker. But to help you understand it a little better, I'm going to remind you that this box represents 1/2 of the data. The whole box is half the data. Each section of the box and whisker. This whisker is 1/4 of the data. This is 1/4 of the data. This is 1/4, and this is 1/4. Now, it might be bothering you that this whisker is much shorter than this whisker, but I assure you that 1/4 of the data is in each one of those sections. Let me show you what I mean. You have numbers 21, 22, 23, and 24 in this group. There are 4 numbers in this section. Over here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers in this section. The idea and the reason why this whisker is longer than this whisker is because the distance between these values, the numbers are more spread out from 37.5 out to 54 than they are from 21 to 24.5. So the only reason the length of the whiskers and these sections of the boxes are not equally spaced like I had them up here is because they're representing real data. Not all data is going to fit nice and tidy into this perfectly spaced 1/4, 1/4, 1/1, 1/4, 1/4. I will assure you, 1/4 of the data is in this section. 1/4 of 16 is 4. So I've got 4 data points in each group. However, because the data is spread out this way, that's why the box and whisker doesn't look that good. All right, that really does it, but I'm going to show you on your calculator how you can do it, because some of you are going to be wanting to use your calculator and you really need to know how to do it. So I'm going to push my paper aside just a bit. I need you to be able to see the numbers and what I'm pressing. I'm going to actually do on my calculator exactly what I did here, and I'm going to get these 5 key pieces. So I'll go slow enough so that you can grab your calculator and do it with me. We're going to turn our calculator on. The first thing you do is you press Stat. Then we're going to edit. That means enter your data. My cursor's already in list 1, spot number 1. And what was that first piece of data? 36. 36, 21, 27. Let me get that so I can cover it up. 36, enter, 21, enter, 37, enter, 27. 36, 21, 27. Actually, I could say I did that on purpose so you could see how you fix something that you messed up. Take your arrow keys, go up. You can either write right on top of it, like type over it, 27, which is what I usually do if I catch my error right away. Or you can press the delete key. All right, 36, 21, 27, 24, 24, 54, 28, 36, 43, 22, 29, 37, 40, 26, 25, 38, 23. Now, you see where it says L1 17? The 17th number is blank. So if I scroll up one spot, you'll see I have 16 numbers. It's a good way to double check that you've got the quantity that you need. All right, now I'm going to show you how to find these 5 numbers. All you're going to do is press Stat. You're going to arrow over to Calc. Remember at the very beginning of the video, I told you that we use box and whisker plots for univariate data, one variable data. So I'm selecting this option that says one variable statistics. Number 1, enter. Now I was playing with my calculator earlier. I had data in list 4, so I need to change it. You may not need to change yours if yours says list 1, so I'm pressing second 1, and then I'm going to press enter 3 times in a row. And let me show you what we're looking for. Scroll or let your eyes look down to the first thing here. It says n equals 16. That tells you how many numbers you had, right? If I use my down arrow key, I'm going to see those 5 key pieces of information that I needed to make my box and whisker. The minimum X value was 21. Sure was. My quartile 1 number was 24.5. Yes. My median was 28.5. Yes. Quartile 3, 37.5, and max 54. I could show you how to create the box and whisker on your calculator, but I think it's more important that you know how to draw it by hand. So you would take these 5 key pieces, create an evenly spaced number line, and try to not make a mistake like you saw me do earlier. Remember, we were counting by 2s, 22, 24, 26, 28. I just didn't want to draw it in because I thought it would be messy. And then you draw your box and whisker with those 5 key elements. All right, hope that helps you understand how to create a box and whisker plot or a box plot.